Good morning. It is Friday the 14th,
Uh-oh.
2025. Welcome to the Wake Up Show with myself and Alex. How's everyone
Hello.
feeling out of 10?
Out of 10, you know what? I'm gonna say 7 again. I think I said 7 on Wednesday, so let's keep it up. 7.
Keep it rolling. Keep the sevens chain rolling. Turn
All
this down a
right.
little bit. All right, we got a banger for you today, guys. Let's present this. All right. The top story. U.S. Senate Banking Committee cleared a bill to regulate stablecoin issuer passing 18-6.
Okay. I don't know the details of this bill, but it's funny as a fiscal libertarian. One thing that I never thought I'd be screaming for was regulation. Can we please get regulation in crypto? And so, not over regulation, but some regulation. Can we set some guidelines so that we know we're not breaking the law? That sounds great to me. So whatever this is, I'm sure. And the next slide will confirm that I am very much in favor of this thing because of who's opposing it. So
Yeah, it's I'm with you. I am a physical libertarian as well. I'm anti a lot of governmental agencies and things like that, but I'm pro having a framework to have innovation for businesses to not be scared to operate in a way that they don't want to do business.
that's
And I
right.
think that doing this is what that is helps flourish. And people think that regulation is a bad thing, but we look at any sort of asset that didn't have regulations and then it did. One thing that follows that is a lot of institutional money because they have a clear framework of how they can operate.
That's right.
All right, and the person who, of course, opposes this bill is Elizabeth Warren. Recently, sounded the alarm that the new proposal
Oh
on
no.
stablecoin legislation is claiming they're giving Elon Musk a clear runway to control the U.S. money and payment system.
Cool, man. I have a cute nickname for Elizabeth Warren, and it's not Pocahontas, by the way. It's I've over the years I've called her Satan's sister. So there's my opinions on Elizabeth Warren. She is a 75-year-old millennial. That's all right, 75, 76, however old she is. She is all of my friends from high school wrapped up into someone in their 70s. And so if she's opposed to it, I am most likely in favor of it, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Gold hits a new all-time high,
That's it. Okay.
and
All
then
right.
eggs hit a 3-month low.
Oh my goodness. Man, guys, I am telling
Uh,
you, I am don't fade gold. Okay, so I don't want to do
yeah,
this thing. I don't want to do a top signal here because I mean gold is surely going to have some corrections over the years. But I have always the thing that the framework that I have that has caused me to head towards fiscal libertarian. It started out with precious metals because this was 2010. I didn't know about Bitcoin in 2010. I wish I did. I mean, I think I first heard about Bitcoin in 2011, but everything that I had learned from the mistakes that we made in the 2008 crash led me to a form of economics that really does value precious metals. And so yes, we're not going getting our 100x returns on gold, but you got to understand with these cycles that gold tends to operate within a 15-year cycle where it's pretty flat for 15 years and then it shoots off like crazy for 15 years. And this might be year one. I mean, if you
mm,
watch my Bitcoin price prediction video from 20 January 2nd, 2024, I talked about in that video how I was very bullish on gold. And to see gold go from $2,000 to $3,000 over a year, we're in the early stages still. I think that gold is going to be over $10,000 in the next 10 years. I said that in a video earlier today. So don't fade
yeah.
it.
I mean, I stack precious metals every week just like I do Bitcoin every week. I buy silver and gold every single week too. So I'm a fan of precious metals myself. Out of all the investments that I have, real estate, crypto, um, precious metals, stocks, bonds, insurance, all the things that I have, um, silver and gold are my favorite to buy
Yeah.
because they're fun. There's something about just clanking them together that is very soothing in a way that is very primal. But I'm in the belief that gold, 2,000 years ago, 1 ounce of gold equaled a fine man's suit. Today, 1 ounce of gold equals a fine man's suit. And so the value, in my opinion, doesn't really go up or down.
Yeah.
It's just a set value.
It's
But
a
what
measure. Go ahead. What are you going to say?
but what we're measuring it in my opinion, when we see gold making new all-time highs, is an indication of the thing that we're measuring it in is actually falling in value.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. Exactly what yeah.
And the funny thing too, Alex, is you brought this up off camera. You were talking about measuring the S&P
Yeah.
in gold and stuff like that. And I thought you were going to bring it up at the show, and you didn't. But I think it to be
I'm going
a
to
good thing.
in another segment here.
Okay, all right, good, good. All right, Bull or Bear, everyone's favorite game. And I didn't ask anyone, by the way, if that's their favorite game. All right, Bull or Bear on this statement: gold will outperform Bitcoin over the next 15 years.
Oh man. Okay, here we go, guys. I'm not going to say bull to this statement. I can't quite get on board with that, but I think you're going to be surprised 15 years from now. All right, 2040, March 14th, 2040, at how little Bitcoin outperformed gold over these next 15 years. If it happens at all, I would not be surprised at all if gold outperformed Bitcoin over the next 15 years, given what I just said about the kind of 15-year cycle that happens with gold. But if you look at charts, if you look at the Nasdaq priced in gold, Bitcoin priced in gold, S&P 500 priced in gold, there's like 12 different sectors that you could look at charts for the price of that sector priced in gold. Every one of those sectors, all 12 of them, are entering into bear markets. They've been in multi-year bull runs priced in gold, and the charts look very bullish towards gold even now. Okay, so it's just something to keep on your radar. I'm going to say bear, especially, let's say Bitcoin from its peak in the cycle top goes down 80% or 70%. I will very much be preferring Bitcoin over gold at that time. But let's say Bitcoin goes from here to $200,000 at the end of the year. I would say bull on this statement. It's just a matter of the timing.
Yeah, I'm a bear on this statement. I do not think that gold will outperform Bitcoin, and it's simply just because of the inflation. So the average
Yeah.
inflation on gold is about 1.8%, which basically that's where the Feds target. By the way, they say we're not backed by gold, but they try to perceive it because perception is reality as though we are. So their target is 2% because what they find in the earth is about 2% per year. And so pre 1971, obviously we were backed by gold. So that's what the Fed's target is, even though they measure it in the most phony way possible. But the point of what I'm saying is 1.8% is roughly what we find in the earth per year. Right now, Bitcoin's inflation is already half of that.
Mhm.
And by 16 years basically from now, it would have almost four halvings from then, and it would be a tenth of that.
Yeah.
So I don't think that gold will outperform Bitcoin, but I do think gold will outperform the stock market.
I agree with you on that, which is wild.
Yes, I do think that gold will outperform the stock market. In my opinion, I've been saying it since 2022, 2029. That's the big one. What happened in 1929?
Stock market
That's the
crash.
big one, in my opinion. So yeah, I do think that gold will outperform the stock market. I think it'll be closer than people think on Bitcoin, but the simple economics 101, I think, beats it out.
Yeah.
All right, the Bitcoin reserve bill, the one that we all know and love as far as the United States buying 1 million Bitcoin, will get passed in 2025.
Bear, for those who don't, this is the Senator Loomis one. I just think that she has, and it's not just Senator Loomis. She's the most prominent figure. This has a long, this has a really tough battle to get through to actually see it coming into fruition. The bill where they would buy 200,000 Bitcoin a year, I think it's very unlikely.
Yeah. I think it's going to be the top when it gets passed. So I think it could get passed in 2025 or early 2026. But I do think it's a long road of like 6+ months before any headway gets made on this. But I think that it will actually be the top signal because I think that
Okay.
institutions are going to front run it, and it's going to be the biggest buy the rumor, sell the news event. So yeah, there you go. All right, overrated, underrated. Gold.
I'll just say underrated, and that's all I'll say.
Yeah, I think gold is underrated too. I think precious metals should have a place in one's portfolio. That's my personal opinion. It's fun to buy.
Yeah.
All right, AI plus blockchain equals the biggest opportunity of the decade. Overrated, underrated.
But this is a really tough one. If you said of the year, I would say that that's the most overrated statement you could possibly make. Of the decade, there's some potential. Over the next couple years, shoot, you know what? I'll say underrated. I'm just going to go ahead and say underrated. Low conviction on that.
Low conviction. To me, it's high conviction. Underrated.
Okay.
Especially the blockchain of ownership. I really think that it is 1997 and the internet just came out. And when that came out, like it doesn't even resemble what it is today when it first came out, right? Like we are broadcasting you
Yeah.
live because of the internet.
Yeah.
It changed the world in every single way imaginable. And I think that the blockchain is like that. And I think that there is a lot of nonsense, just like there was in the .com bubble. But I think that the technology is what is going to stay and what is going to change everything in every way. So I do think I think that this is criminally underrated, especially when over a long enough time horizon. Yeah, if you say next year, I would say yeah, that's overrated. But next decade,
Yeah.
underrated.
Hey, can you before we get into charts and coffee, could you share this comment here? So my country, El Salvador, has largest unmined gold reserves. Because this is really interesting, and this is an argument for sure for Bitcoin over gold. So I'll read it. It says, "So my country, El Salvador, has the largest unmined gold reserves. They just passed the law to start mining gold since it was illegal. So Bitcoin will outperform gold." This is a component because what happens when gold increases in price? Miners around the world have an incentive to mine more gold. And so it always will have that equilibrium where in a given year there may be more than 1.8% of gold mined. But then, if you think about being about Bitcoin, as Bitcoin goes up, there is no extra mining of Bitcoin. So that's the beautiful thing about all of this.
Yeah, and like almost, it's estimated that somewhere between 4 and 10 million bitcoins are lost forever.
Yeah.
So there's 21 million, but there's not really 21 million. There's really only like 12 million. And I do think, like you said, there's zero possibility that inflation increases for Bitcoin, but there is a possibility that inflation on gold increases. Like, there could be a meteor crashes or whatever. What's the don't look up where they go up and mine the meteor for gold? Like
Yeah.
that's silly, but like that's not a possibility with Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
All right, I'll switch to your screen.
Okay, so keeping things simple, just a simple top-down analysis with Bitcoin. What do you see? I'm at the monthly chart right now, and you can see with Bitcoin on the monthly candle, we got rejected right at the 1.618. That's not even what I want to talk about. I was really fascinated looking at that. But this monthly candle is, as of right now, we're halfway through the month, an indecision doji. So it's one of those things where you look simply at the monthly. We could go up, we could go down. And but then there's other things that I'm looking at here. MACD doesn't look all that favorable, especially the MACD histogram. Stochastic is coming down. I have stochastic and MACD merged. I've never even seen that as a possibility on TradingView. So whatever. All I want to say is on the monthly, it's kind of, it could go up, it could go down. But then on the weekly, as of right now, we have a bullish hammer trend reversal. Stochastic and MACD. I think the MACD histogram is going to show a light pink, a pink bar, light red bar. Stochastic is way oversold. The RSI is down to a score. It's gotten down to a score of about 40. That's ideal in a bull run. So just looking at this is a reason for me on a weekly time frame, week by week, to think that it's more likely that we're going to go up than down over these next few weeks, and then we'll see what the monthly looks like as things play themselves out. Like I've said, I've drawn two lines in the sand with Bitcoin. One is about 75,500. I don't want to see a weekly close below there. That's where the 50-week moving average is. As long as we are above the 50-week moving average, I would say that there is certainly a good chance that we can go higher, that we could put in new all-time highs. We lose the 50-week moving average, then I would say for several months, not several months, for at least a couple months, that it is over, a few months or many months. So that's my bottom line in the sand. My top line in the sand would be $95,000 if we broke above $95,000. I would say that we're back on. And again, daily closes above there. On a daily schedule, I would say, we're fighting. We're trying so hard to break above the 200-day moving average. For me, I focus a lot more on the 200-day, or on the 200-day simple moving average than the EMA. I don't know where the EMA is right now. Actually, no. I think this blue line is the EMA. But I focus, I focus more on the 200-day simple moving average, and it's resistance right now, and maybe we could break above that sometime soon. So, sorry, and that's all I'll say for now. I'm reading a comment, but you should.
Okay, I'll switch to mine. I have actually in the micro. I think me and you are kind of for the first time in lockstep here.
Okay.
So that also is my line in the sand to the upside and to the downside. I'm saying 96. And then the 50-week moving average, I think, is a big deal. Also, another one that I think is a big deal is the 2-week 20 EMA. In order for us to signal a proper bear market, we need to break below this and then also back test it as resistance and not get through it. If we break below this, come back up, don't get above it, that is a bear market. That would be a signal of that. But right now we're on top of it and finding it as support, which I want to continue to see. As far as on the daily, I think that we're extremely oversold, not even just with the RSI, but just with sentiment in general. Like, we've been here for a while. I talked about this on my live stream. Someone was just saying, like, just Trump will not give up on the tariffs. And it's like, and I had this thought of, this is a narrative that the market is not going to like until it gets used to it. And it's just like World War III. That was a narrative with the Russia, Ukraine, and every time that tensions would flare up, the markets would react negatively until the market kind of got used to that. And then it no longer reacted to it. And he's saying it every single day, seemingly. And I think we're
Yeah.
getting close to a point where that's not going to be a thing anymore. Like in the fear and greed, we're in the teens. And last night was the blood moon. So we're not out of the woods yet. I'm not going to be trading until the 16th, but if we can hold this support here until the 16th, I think that is going to mark a reversal. And confirmation is getting above 85 in the micro, and then 95. If we get above 95 in the medium term, uh, whatever time frame you want to say that is, but if we get above 95 daily body closes, that to me, this is a bear trap.
Yeah, I agree with
That's
that.
what this is. So yeah, that I have a very similar line in the sand, upside and downside. Got there kind of in a slightly different way, but we arrived at the same conclusion. So if we get above 95,000 in closing of my analysis on Bitcoin, that this is a bear trap.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there's other things too. It's, I mean, okay, we're back on my chart. I mean, I've talked about this. It just takes time to play itself out. The S&P, the NASDAQ, they're just so there needs to be some kind of relief bounce. And I'm seeing a possibility for sure of like of a reversal, at least to a lower high, at the very least to a lower high on the NASDAQ and the S&P. And so, you factor those things in as well. And then, you factor in, I just made a video on I posted on all my platforms, but inflation is plummeting. And I don't know if most people realize that it's going to be a lot lower next month. And so what does all of that factor into? Or, I mean, it's going to be a lot lower in the next month's report for March. We'll see. I don't know. What are you looking at? I see you looking down. You're reading some comment or something.
Yeah, I'm reading somebody saying paid for Discord just to lose money. I don't have a paid Discord, so I don't even know what you're talking about. He says, I've lost people money. I don't know, bro. I was bullish at 16K. So I don't know if you've been following me since 2022. I don't know how you're in the red at this point.
Yeah, just those comments. They're.
I don't even have a paid Discord. Can Kronos still hit $1? Kronos to me has in the micro and in the macro really good looking chart.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's one of the few that I've been saying to buy.
Yeah, I would argue it's definitely flirting with the reversal at this point.
Yeah.
What in the world?
So I mean, it's on. So I mean, as far as hitting $1, I'm not going to give commentary to that, but like it's at 8 cents right now. So I mean, that's more than a 10x. Don't worry about 12x's right now. Just worry about gains. I mean, I've been talking about Kronos as it put in a higher high, formed a higher low. Looks like if it puts in one more higher high from here, we're just straight on bullish on Kronos for sure.
Yeah.
And it looks like this is just something that, volume had a high volume break through its downtrend, putting in a higher high. I think volume's going to pick up pretty soon here with Kronos. So
yeah, in the macro chart too, it's not letting me pull it up, but okay. I don't know why my trading view just started acting crazy. But on the macro chart too, you already know if you zoom out on the daily, because you got it pulled up, right?
Yeah, I have it pulled up.
If you zoom out on the daily, where you can see from 2022 till the present, you'll see what I'm talking about. Like it's the same chart.
All right,
it's the same chart. You know what I mean? It's the same chart as everything else.
It's very similar structure to what you look for And I'm talking about
Yeah.
you in cryptos.
Same as ADA, same as like VeChain, same as XYO, same as a lot of the quote dinosaur coins all have the same structure, and I think it's an indication as to what is to come.
Yeah.
Whether that's next month or next year, who knows? Time will tell. Um, but yeah, this is one of my favorite plays, one of my top value plays right now in the micro and in the medium, and it's one I think Chronos and ADA are the quote dinosaurs that are starting to show signs of reversing first.
Yeah, it's funny. We didn't talk about this, but I mean, like Cardano's also looking pretty solid. I had said, like I've been saying, I've mostly been shorting crypto lately, but I've been a lot more cautious the last couple weeks. And I did. It's one of the few that I did set a long on, and it didn't fill. And right now, I'm losing hope that it's going to fill. But Cardano is one of the few that I have my eyes on as being bullish. So for me, I'd also add Bitcoin Cash to that.
Yeah, Bitcoin Cash.
I'm liking Bitcoin Cash. Yeah.
There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of coins that are quietly making higher lows
Yeah.
right now. Very quietly. ADA and Bitcoin Cash, I think, are at the top of the list. I'm looking at, I mean, you could even say in the macro, definitely Telcoin, but not in the micro. But ADA in the micro and in the macro is making higher highs and higher lows.
Yeah.
And then Chronos is sort of starting down that path as well. So that could definitely be big. Definitely. I mean, that would definitely move total. Like those are major market caps. So if they make a big move, like that's going to really impact the total three, the total
Yeah.
two. Um. So
Yeah, we might be close. I mean, you guys know my strategy is not. I have been almost entirely on the sidelines now, and I was hoping last week that we're gonna see some kind of a breakout. Total threes, it's recovering. Total two is still a little bit too far off from what I'm hoping for. This is my minimum standard. I mean, there's other things I want to look for, but if you're buying right now, I mean, probability wise, I think that you're gonna be all right a month from now. You're gonna be up a month from now. Personally,
yeah,
whatever, So
Yoski, notice you're bullish end of year, but the next blood moon is September. Last three blood moons have been the tariffs, Luna, FTX. Are you still bullish for September? No. September is one of the worst performing months, and it is the worst performing month in crypto, period. If you go on the moon chart, if I were just to give you like a synopsis very quickly, of I think that there's going to be, here's like my macro, what I think is going to happen for crypto. Okay. I think that there's going to be a run of sorts between now and May, whether it's like life changing money or car changing money. I don't know. Um, but I think there's going to be a run of sorts between now and May in the altcoins. I think the altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin between now and May. We're going to be boring in the summer months. And then I think the true euphoric moment is going to be in November. That is my prediction. That's been my target since 2022. I thought that there would be two sort of runs, and that's what I'm still going to hold to. I'm open to being wrong, but that is what I think. And if in that scenario, September being one of the worst months, and the only blood moons that, because I did a deep dive on this actually yesterday, the only lunar eclipses or blood moons that were not extremely violent for crypto, it doesn't have as much of a correlation with the stock market. Um, but the only ones that are not violent in crypto were the ones like right now, where we have had previous a lot of downside correction up into it. Those are the only ones that were not. There's a couple since 2015 that did not have a significant move, but if there was no downside, almost every single one of them have been very, very violent. And I would probably argue how this could align with this would be a spring to take you higher. It'd be a bear trap. It'd be some scary event. I don't know. I don't know what would happen. I don't predict events, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be good. No, I think there's definitely going to be a pullback in September.
That's a perfect time for a pullback. I mean, everything you said. This past September was the best September in Bitcoin's history, and Bitcoin went up by like 7% or something like that. It was a miserable month going through it, even though Bitcoin finished up. So bring it on, really. If that's how it's going to play itself out, let's do it.
Yeah, September. I mean, if you look at the moon or not the moon chart, but the monthly performance chart for Bitcoin, September is literally the worst month. So yeah, I don't expect that to change for sure. Yeah. Do you guys still hope for an alt season, or are we a bit behind on alt season?
Are we a bit behind a bit on alt season? So I would challenge that. I mean, it's been different for 2017 and 2021. In 2017, alt season was in January of 2018, so it wasn't even in 2017. In 2021, it was in the second quarter of 2021. It happened much earlier than a lot of us were expecting. And so those are our two data points. We only have two data points. Are we a bit behind on alt season? We're a bit behind in comparison to what everyone was expecting. I'll give you that. But personally, I've been a bit of a contrarian, thinking that alt season was going to come much later, like 2021 and 2018 levels of alt season were going to come much later than what people were saying. That I like the analogy, car changing gains. For me, I've been saying, instead of saying win Lambo, say win Lexus or something like that. But then, if that's your thing, you want a Lambo, I have a great deal of conviction that we are going to see, we're going to see despair. We're going to see euphoria. That within a 4-year window, that happening is very likely, and it hasn't happened within this 4-year window yet.
Yeah, someone said it earlier in the TikTok live. I don't think that we have gotten true proper euphoria, and I would probably agree with that too.
Sure.
I think there's a strong likelihood, and will be confirmed. I talked about this earlier. If we get above 95,000 daily body closes, I think there is a strong likelihood that this move from 109 back to 70, what did we get to? 76? The bear trap. Yeah. In the macro. And these moves, the problem is these moves, they play out much slower than people think or analysts think, right? They think, a bull trap, bear trap, it's going to happen today, and then tomorrow it's going to be a bull. Like, that's not how it happens. In reality, it's like this takes 3-4 months to do one move.
Yep. I mean, we could easily pull up 2017, July of 2017. It's going to look really ugly on my chart here. Let me switch to USDT. But July of 2017, that's how it played itself out. I'm not even going to bother with that. Go back to July of 2017 and look at the few months leading into July of 2017. There were people saying it was over because Bitcoin went from what? Was that when Bitcoin went from $3,000 to $1,800 in a span over in the moment. It was a grind. It was just an absolute grind. And a lot of people were like, all right, pack your bags. See you in 2021 or whatever. And then Bitcoin went from $1,800 to $20,000.
July of 17. Oh, yeah. That was a pretty big correction. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, that was brutal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't pull up your charts?
I got it right here.
Oh, my goodness. What am I doing? Okay. Oh, there we go. Look at that.
It's a 31% correction. I mean, that's just in a few days. If you count from the top here, though, let me see how many days this is. 12 days, 31% correction. I mean, in the stock market, people are losing their jobs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no joke. Like, literally layoffs, recession, like that's doom and gloom. But in a matter of, 40 days, it was a 40% correction. In a
Yeah, that
matter of
wasn't
40
pleasant in the
days.
moment. I mean, look, I mean, that is a downtrend. That's just a straight up downtrend. And if you're doing
Right.
analysis on that without people, without where is that? Okay. If you do analysis on that, just general technical analysis, your bias should be that we are going to continue to go lower. Then what happened? We got a reversal, and quite a
And it didn't
reversal.
even find support or anything. Like,
Yeah.
there's no support that caught that. Other than the 200, you could maybe say, or the 100 at EMA, you could say is support, but there's nothing prior to this.
Yeah.
So, Ski, can you check NCT Polyswap? Seeing stories about XRP used to be governed to pay tax refunds and Social Security.
Okay. We'll see.
Yeah, so that's what I'm leaning towards, that this is a macro bear trap right now. Confirmation. I'm wrong if we go to 75, which takes out the 50 week. I'm confirmed if we go to 95. So there you go. That is in a nutshell. How do you think ETH will act once staking gets approved? I don't care about staking. Staking is the most overrated thing.
You asked the wrong
I
guy.
just yeah. I mean, listen, you're asking. It's like asking. It's like saying I can't even relate it to you because there's no thing that I can even think of. It's like going from a Lamborghini and then saying, "Well, when your 2009 Toyota Camry gets fixed, are you gonna be happy about that?" Like, no. I don't even like Lamborghinis, but you know what I mean? That's the difference for me. Because I was in 2021, you could not tell me nothing. I was literally making more money mining, spending like an hour a month on it. I was making more money than my full-time job.
Wow.
I did not feel the bear market for a second until ETH switched, because I was still paying my I was still able to pay my um my survival bills, is what I would call it, like mortgage,
Yeah.
water, electric, just from mining. So I didn't feel the bear market until about September, I believe it was, when it actually switched. So yeah, like the money that I was making from mining versus what is available to make from staking, it's not even in the same class. It's like going from, it's middle school basketball versus the NBA. Like, it's not even the same thing. So no, I do not care about that even a little bit.
Yeah. I
And
don't
I
care
think
about Ethereum.
Ethereum is going to go into price discovery, in my opinion. It's going to go to $7,000 at some point in the next 18 months. In my opinion, that is the last hurrah for Ethereum, and I would strongly recommend. I can't give you financial advice, but um, if you were my brother, I would say I would probably de-risk on a retracement for Ethereum, which is about 3,300, and I would definitely de-risk at price discovery, because I do think that this is the last time that Ethereum is number two.
Yeah. I've thought about, let's say Ethereum does hit a new all-time high, whenever it does, when will Ethereum next hit a new all-time high? And I would not expect it to hit a new all-time high in 2028 or 2029. We know Devin's position on 2029. I would say that it would eventually hit a new all-time high because of if we're pricing it in dollars. But I would not be surprised at all if it was like in the 2040s that Ethereum got back to its previous, it's 2025 or 2026 all-time high.
Damn. I mean, that kind of reminds me of IBM, right? Like
Hmm.
from the .com bubble. It's not like IBM isn't a good product. It's not like they're not changing the world. It's not like, all these things, but from the .com bubble prices, it still to this day has not made a new all-time high.
That's insane. I mean, Microsoft was like that for quite a while, but then, I think around mid teens, it broke through that. But I mean, we're talking about like 1998, it peaked and then didn't break through. So I mean, that can
Yeah.
happen
And not
with crypto.
yeah, not only like you can so we're relating it to the stock market. How about just crypto? Like how many coins in 2017
Yeah, for sure.
went all-time highs, did not in 2021, and already are making all-time highs in 2025. XRP. How many people said that XRP was dead in 2021 because it didn't make a new all-time high? If you think like the sentiment sucks now, wait until Ethereum skips a cycle and just retraces.
Yeah.
Someone said, "Will Solana take the number 2 spot?" That's probably my vote. XRP, Solana would be my number 1 and 2 candidates. Either would be fine. Um, I personally, I think XRP is faster. It's more institutional, but Solana is more developer friendly. Um,
And just more usage too.
more usage. It's more developer friendly. It's anyone who knows C++, Rust, or any basic coding things can build and deploy applications on the Solana ecosystem basically for free. If you're a developer at all, you can get a developer account for free, and the Solana Foundation will give you up to 5 Solana per day to develop with, so that you can use your fees. Now you can't spend these. You can't spend it. It has to be for like deploying the contracts, but you can basically build apps for free on Solana.
Sorry, I'm responding to a comment.
That was the
It,
first major market manipulation. I don't think that was the first major one, but that was definitely the first like institutional where all the eyeballs are watching. Um, that I can remember. Like there's always market manipulation, which is why I like Wyckoff so much, because that's the starting point. It's like the game is rigged. That's the starting point of Wyckoff. It's like the game
yeah.
is rigged. There's predators and prey. So here's how you analyze the market, knowing that. So that's the camp that I always reside in. That it's predator prey, apex predators. It's hammers and nails, and you just want to be on the right side. But I think that this is the first time where regular people are just like, wait a minute, 50x long right before the crypto reserve bill, 50x short right before the tariffs. Wait a minute.
And I just so what about
This is bullish to me. Accountant just got my tax info. Decent sized firm said I was the only customer with digital assets so far this year. We are still early.
I mean, we are early. I mean, we're early. Okay, yeah. I my daughter did a report for school and she had to do calculate, or not calculate, but figure out the number of active Bitcoin addresses, not active, just total number of Bitcoin addresses since 2009 basically. And there's well over a billion now. I don't even know how many Bitcoin addresses I have, but it's not like that's over a billion Bitcoin holders, but we're still, yeah, timeline wise, we are still early.
Um, Sui will be top 5, 6 by the end of the 2026.
In market cap.
Yeah, market cap. That's right.
Which I know you know why I'm saying that, because Sui is a very highly inflationary cryptocurrency. It is possible. It's possible for Sui that, think about what would be the number two. We talked about XRP and Solana. Sui's up there. Sui's up there as a possibility. I Sure. I like what I'm seeing there with TBL and with their statistics, but there's plenty of things, even things that don't exist yet.
I was never a huge fan of Sui. I've been bearish on Sui since November. I actually think that it's a okay value here, but I've been
Sure.
bearish publicly since November, and I missed maybe like 20% because of that. So from $4 to $5, oh, missed that. Sorry. But from all the way back down to where we're at right now, I've been bearish the whole entire time as well. And because price equals supply plus demand, it does not equal if you walk on water. It does not equal if you cure cancer. It does not equal, none of those things equal price. The price equals supply plus demand. And if your supply is outpacing the US dollar, and that's what you're measuring it in, well, you have an uphill battle. So sure, it could be fine long term, but I don't know that you're going to get life changing. I don't even know if you're going to get car changing. You might be able to get a modification on your car.
Replace your
Uh,
stereo.
yeah, you're going to get a new stereo, maybe some rims, uh, get a new engine, maybe get that 5.0. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know that you're even going to get car changing money personally,
Sir,
but yeah.
I'm responding to someone's comments. For some reason, Jose, nobody said anything about Ethereum peaking in 18 months. Okay, I just have to say this out loud because this guy's like freaking out on TikTok here on my chat, like that Ethereum, that for some reason he's interpreting that one of us said Ethereum is going to peak in 18 months, and I don't know where you're getting that from, Jose. So,
So I did say over the next 18 months,
oh,
as in a broad blanket statement,
okay,
um, playing into your 2026 theory as well. But no, I'm not predicting on this day at this hour Ethereum will make new. No, that's not what I'm saying. It could happen in 4 months. I don't care about the time.
yeah,
I was not predicting 18 months. I was giving a broad blanket statement of how long I think that the hoorah is. Maximum of 18 months for Ethereum.
okay, all right.
My God.
All right, now change your diaper, Jose, and let's move on. So,
Do you guys think a virtual at these levels, almost a 7x hit from November, December highs, but not sure if AI agent narrative is still alive?
I was never sold on AI agent narrative. I mean, when people were like, "Oh man, this is the future." It's maybe not. I mean, if the rest of the market's going to rise and people get excited again, then sure, could virtual go back to its all-time high? That's a 7x. It looks like there's a decent amount of seller exhaustion looking at the chart, and that it's pretty flat right now. So maybe there's a play. But you know, we'll see. I mean, maybe I would rather be buying right now more dinosaurs
Yeah.
and not these new and sexy cryptos that really don't have much of a historic establishment of support and resistance,
Yeah.
because those are super high risk.
My biggest loss, my worst call is Dynex. I was made aware of Dynex in hindsight at the top. Um, and fundamentally, I believe in that project, but it just doesn't have enough. It
Yeah,
doesn't have enough chart data. Dynex and Flux are the only cryptos that I'm aware of right now that actually have the computational power. I guess you could throw in Render, because they have like a outsource. Even though you can't mine Render directly, they have like an outsource where they borrow GPUs as well. But those are the only three that I'm aware of that actually have computational power to do what they're trying to accomplish. The rest
Mhm.
of them, I think, is a lot of buzzwords and stuff like that. Bitcoin's pumping right now as we're talking. By the way, it's at 84,000.
Yeah. I mean, any reason? This is a comment. Any reason for today's mini pump? Um, I mean, personally, Devin and I are. We talked about this earlier in the live stream. We're both very much aligned as to where we are right now. And again, the thing that I'll bring up for the second time is on the weekly. I mean, the weekly candle for this week, which is most likely going to close pretty close to where it is right now, is looking phenomenal. And we're so oversold. We are as oversold in Stochastic as you could possibly be, and RSI in a bull run. We're pretty much there. It's time. We're due for something.
Whoa,
So
are you bullish?
no, I'm a perma bear, man. I'm such a perma bear. No,
Breaking
yeah, it
news.
makes sense.
Alex
Yeah.
Costa. Is it Costa or Costa? I feel like I mispronounced it.
Costa.
Okay.
Yeah, Costa. Yeah. Uh, it makes sense to be bullish right now, and I know I'm so exhausted saying that, especially throughout this week. We go down to 76K, and I'm seeing all the data that I'm seeing, not just with crypto but with stocks, and it's like it makes sense to be bullish now. But everything's collapsing. You know, my friends calling me or texting me, telling me that one telling me he sold his Bitcoin, and another one asking if he should sell his Bitcoin.
Yeah,
It's a pretty good bottom signal.
I've told this story too. In 2022, like I was already making crypto content at this time. In 2021, in 2020, I think is when I really started making crypto content. But my friends and family all knew that I was like all in on crypto, and no joke, I had people go out of their way the day after FTX went to zero. And this is one of the reasons, like there was technical reasons, but I'm very intuitive, okay? And one of the reasons that I flipped so hard was I promised people were not going to see me in a day and went out of their way to confront me and say, Nana boo boo, stick your face in doo doo, crypto sucks. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but basically that's what they said. I had multiple
Yeah.
people do that. They went out of their way. They would not have seen me, and they went out of their way to tell me how silly I was. I had family members saying that it was stupid. I had, and then coworkers that went out of their way to tell me, and that was one of the things where that really made me flip fully. And I was like, oh man, this is it. This is like,
Yeah.
I've never seen them be right about investing.
So it wasn't that extreme for me, but a friend of mine who, you know, I gave him some crypto, just like, you know, somebody who I really care about. And unfortunately, he got really excited about crypto after I gave it to him and bought the peak in 2021. I was just trying to give him some crypto. He asked me at the bottom, do you still believe in this? You know, I'm DCAing into this. I don't know, man. It was at that point that he asked me, and I was just like, yes, very much so. I mean, at the absolute worst case scenario, let's say this is all a scam. Bitcoin's going up to a 702 retrace at $53,000. But here we are. We've gone over 100,000 already, and so
Yeah. I had the reverse thing happen to me in 2021 too. So I've had two experiences with people. In 2022, it was people that I know, people that were close to me who are like supposed to have your back the most, but, go out of their way to sort of nana boo boo you at the
yeah,
literal bottom. But in 2021, the reverse thing happened to me. And this is when I sold all of my crypto, was 2021. I was at a gas station, and again, I'm making content doing this. I'm at a gas station, and this is the first time I ever saw a Bitcoin ATM in real life. And this is the first time my
mm,
online life met my real life. And I'm just like kind of an animated person. I can be like kind of silly. And so that's what I was doing. I was just like, whoa, like I'm just out loud. No one, I don't know anyone here. I'm out loud excited that I see this in my real life. Like, oh, my online life has met my real life. Wow, this is amazing. And this guy, he did not speak English as his first language. And he had a Black and Mild and a Colt 45. I'm not judging anybody, but this is what he was purchasing. And he tells me, he says, Bitcoin is finished. Shiba. That's what he tells me. And I
So
immediately call my friend. I'm like, it's over. We're done. We're cooked.
so what he wanted you to he was saying to buy Shiba Inu.
By the way, he was right. Like I'm making fun. He was correct. Shiba
Yeah.
like performed crazy from
Okay.
that point. But that was the end. So Bitcoin was around $50,000. It had already kind of like sort of rounded off. And Shiba was sort of the last one, the last hurrah of that bull market. But that's when I sold the rest of my crypto.
There you go. The Uber driver, the barber, your grandma, and the gas station guy who barely speaks English.
Yeah, I mean, if you pay attention, I'm telling you, the world will let you know the signals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are my two encounters. I mean, obviously, 2022, I had lots of technical reasons as well. I didn't really have technical reasons in 2021, although clearly in hindsight that was distribution. But that was the final straw for me. I'm like, yeah, it's done. We're over with. Um, and then 2022, there was lots of technical signals, especially because in June the altcoins had already bottomed. Like the
Yeah.
FTX collapse, that was what technically I was like, okay, there's something is happening here, where we haven't went lower because of this moment. This is putting in a higher low. And then when they went out of their way to like rub it in my face, I'm like, oh, okay, I see what's happening here.
Yeah.
By the way,
So
I've never said anything in reverse too. I've never
what?
been like nana na boo boo.
Oh, of course. So let me respond to a question here. Are you both still of the opinion that we have a rally before the boring summer? And both of us are of that opinion. Yes. I
Yes.
made a video. I mean, I made a video 2 days ago, I think it was, talking about this. Like, my exit point is S&P 500 around $6,000, and I am saying, around that time. I think the S&P is going about $6,000, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin was at a new all-time high at that point. I wouldn't be surprised if the total 3 was at an all-time high at that point. Total 2, I'm not so sure about because of Ethereum being what it is, but that's my mindset. I think, Devin, you would say you have a bit of a more bullish mindset on that.
Yeah, I think he says that ETH will pump before the weekend. Like it could happen on a dime. There's not technical like anything as showing a reversal on Ethereum yet. But I mean, it's crypto. It could change tomorrow. There could be something that happens tomorrow that could change it. Someone's asking me, spamming about ICP, my thoughts on ICP. I'm doing a full deep dive breakdown on ICP today, just like I did on HNT. Check that video out. It's a pretty good video. I spent a lot of time on it. So I'll be doing that today on ICP, but I do like ICP from a technical perspective and from a fundamental perspective. I think it gets to a minimum of $38 for a retrace.
All right.
Why isn't your boy Ski a fan of Beppe?
Oh man, I didn't even want you to share that. Like, I'm a fan of Beppe. I've been getting comments about Beppe. Like, man, what's going on with Beppe? It's like it's the entire market. It's not. It's what are you?
I haven't been a fan.
About, what?
I'll be honest. Okay, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
With meme coins, especially, you have to bet on the jockey, not the horse.
Okay.
So you need to bet on the team. And this team approached me, and it's not because we didn't get a deal done. They wanted me to do, and I'm just being fully honest, fully transparent.
Yeah.
Okay. They wanted me to do like a collaboration with them. And it's fine that it didn't work out, but the way that they handled me and insulted me, um, I was like, this isn't a good team. This isn't something that I believe in. And so that's my methodology with meme coins. You bet on the jockey, not the horse. And so they offered me something, or they asked me, they reached out to me and asked me what I would do for that. And just the way that they handled the whole situation, I thought was like, man, this isn't a good long term team. So that's my personal thoughts. I would love to be face meltingly wrong, but this happened in November, and so that moment,
Wow.
I have been off on Beppe. I even texted you that I was off on Beppe because of it.
Yeah. That's news to me. I mean, I remember your text. The interaction you had with them is news to me. I'm disappointed to hear that. Uh, I just seen them grinding like crazy. I mean, like I respect your grind, and I would say I respect their grind. I respect your grind more because you're public about your crypto, and they have Twitter accounts, but you don't see their faces or anything like that.
Yeah.
But they're at work, so
Yeah, I would love to be face meltingly wrong. Maybe it wasn't even their team. Maybe it was just like some
yeah.
people who hold it, you know? So maybe I'm misspeaking, but that was just my impression. And I just was like, no thanks.
All right, let me respond to something. The tough questions always get ignored. Crypto machinery. Here we go. So you commented White Rock was a scam. I warned you guys about White Rock multiple times, and I took down the videos. And I haven't looked at White Rock in a while. White Rock did a 6x from when I first made a call on that, and then I'm pretty sure it's still higher than the initial call. And it's really interesting seeing what's happened with White Rock, where a lot of people flooded it really hard, and it dumped, and then I thought for sure after that it was going to be over, but then White Rock bounced back. But I haven't paid attention for a while to White Rock, and I would not touch it. But I warned you guys about all that coming. So
At least 2 weeks ago, we were live
yeah.
together, and Alex said, I don't know anything about White Rock personally.
Hmm.
But I know 2 weeks ago we were live, and Alex said, sell all of your White Rock. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, at the peak.
So, like, very calmly, very sternly, said that. So, and multiple times too. Throughout that live stream, you said it at least 3 or 4 times. You said it multiple different live streams for sure. Um, so, and I don't even know about your personal live streams, but
Oh yeah, for
I know
sure.
for a fact, while I've been live with you, you've said it probably over the last 2 weeks at least over 10 times. So, um, yeah, that's
All right, we can move on then. It's just always we're ignoring the tough questions, and it's like ignoring the tough questions. There's like
I prefer.
hundreds of questions.
Yeah, I prefer the tough questions actually.
Yeah,
Give
yeah.
me a question that makes me think. It makes me ponder. Can we expect a 2 to 3x on altcoins from here till May? I have a target of the total three doing a 50% move. And I
All right.
certainly think that a lot of altcoins will do that. I don't think that everything will do that, especially bad tokenomics.
Yeah, bad tokenomics, or even large market cap ones. I mean, Binance is not going to do a 3x, or
Ethereum.
um, Ethereum. Yeah, Solana. Well, all right, where's Solana? I mean, maybe not the 3x. I don't think for Solana. Maybe it could do a 2x. I don't think Solana is going to hit a new all-time high between now and May. But what about a certain top 100 or top 100 to 200 ranked cryptos? There's always possibilities.
Yeah. So, the total three is everything that's not Bitcoin and Ethereum. If I'm predicting a 50% move and I'm correct, that would mean a huge chunk will do more than a 2 to 3x, and some will underperform that. So I would say that
Yeah.
there's a good shot of a lot of coins doing that. Yes. The dinosaur coins with good tokenomics are my picks for doing a 2 to 3x. Like I could see ADA doing a 2x, 3x. I could see ICP doing a 2 to 3x. I could see VeChain doing a 2 to 3x. I could see BCH doing a 2 to 3x. I could see there's lots of coins that I could see. I could see XYO doing a 2 to 3x. I could see LCX doing a 2 to 3x. Lots of coins that could do a 2 to 3x between now and then.
I got a question. What about Pendle? I'm just going to say, all right, I'll throw Pendle in that one. I know we have different opinions on Pendle.
Yeah, you and Alvarez are super bullish on Pendle. I haven't started drinking the Kool-Aid, but I also haven't done a deep dive into it either. So I'm just looking at pure tokenomics and TA. So again, I'm not the end all, be all, know all, tell all for the right price. It's not me, even though that's what some people accuse me of. My wife's boyfriend is my signals. Are you guys aware of the update ETH will be doing? It's big deal. Check it out. Yeah, I heard it was a big deal. I heard that the proof of stake was going to fix the gas fees. Every update that they've done, I've heard it's going to fix the gas fees and the transaction speed. Every single one of them, and yet that's what they promised. Like we so quickly forget how quickly we forget about what is being pushed to us. But I remember on Everything I Love in 2021, when in early 2022, when Ethereum was switching from proof of work to proof of stake, the bill of goods that was sold to us was this will fix the gas fees. Those dirty, nasty miners are taking all of the transactional fees.
Yeah, again, you don't ask Devin questions about Ethereum if you want to hear what you're wanting to hear. And I saw the same. I saw the same up. I saw something on X talking about 100,000 transactions per second or something like that, and I just rolled my eyes. I mean, I'm surprised that they're not just like actually in the back of my head right now because of how hard I rolled my eyes at that.
They did a full 360.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I'm listen. Again, I would love to be face meltingly wrong because Ethereum getting into all-time highs I think is a good thing for a lot of coins. But I've heard this every single update, and every single update it's never been a big deal.
Yeah.
So I would love for you guys next weekend to come on the show and just laugh at me and just say nana and a boo boo, stick your face in doo doo ski. I would love for that. I would just, it would make me, I might cry for a fourth time in my marriage. That's how happy and sad I'll be at the same time. Here we go with I heard. What are you even saying, bro? Can you look at Quant? I like Quant. Quant's a weird coin where it'll just do its own thing. It's just like it's kind of like Texas. It's like it's still just like a republic, and it's like we're not sure about this United States thing.
That's one of my sayings. People who've been with me since 2021 know exactly the next words that are going to come out of my mouth, which is Quant does what Quant does.
Yeah. Quant did a 5x when everything else was dead, like properly dead.
Yeah.
My coins are down 70%. Do you think it's wise for me to exit those at this point? Got to see it through, my boy. You like at this point.
Yeah.
The time would have been when Alex did it. I would look at the tokenomics on those coins. I would investigate that. But yeah, I mean, at this point, I think we're going to get some sort of rally and maybe de-risk on some of those coins during that rally. But yeah, I'm not a financial advisor. I can't give financial advice. But at this point, I would just ride it out. Bought some Solana.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. My big concern, because Zed, you tend to get very emotional in the comments, at least, is what are you going to do if and when you get back to break even? I have a hard time believing you're going to sell. So that's something that you just need to look in the mirror and do some self-examination on that.
Yeah, have a plan in place. What action you're going to take at certain if a scenario happens, I will take a action. If you get to all-time highs, what are you going to do? If you break above all-time highs, at what level are you going to de-risk? Because I've seen it so many times. People want a 5x until they get a 5x. And now all of a sudden they want a 7x. And that's really where people get burned. Bitcoin's at 85K. Yeah, Bitcoin is pumping right now. I listen, 85K is a big level because that's a 200 EMA. So we got to get daily bodies above this. And we're still, listen, I said that the blood moon, like I'm cautious right now. I'm cautiously, very cautiously optimistic, but I'm not going to say we're good to go until one of two things happen. The 16th passes and or we get above $95,000 daily body closes.
So 200 EMA is 85.5.
We got to get above that and hold it. So that could be
we'll probably see some resistance there, and hopefully we'll break through.
Yeah. So 85.5 to me, if we get a daily, like if for whatever reason we close at like 87 today or something like that, that would be the first level of, which by the way, my God, going from 78 to 87 is an entire year of stock market gains. But that would be the first sort of micro level of like, okay, this could be good right here. But also like we got to take out this higher high over here at 92. So that's the 85 is the first level of like the tide is turning. 92 is like, okay, it looks like it's really turning. And then daily bodies above 95 would be confirmation. That's how I would, I'm down 7x. How are you down 7x? There's only 1x possible.
So down what, 85% or so, something like that.
1x is 100%. Do you like ICP? Yes. I answered your question. I'm going to be doing a deep dive on ICP today. I do like ICP. I like it from a technical and a fundamental perspective. I think at a minimum, it retraces to $38. Flux. I like Flux.
Devin likes Flux.
All right, guys. That is going to be it for this time. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter. I'm also on Instagram and Threads now, I guess. And I guess you could follow me on Snapchat too, because it's posting there too. I don't even have a Snapchat on my phone though, but I'm posting there. So I will never message you. And neither will Alex.
We won't. I'll let you do it this time.
If somebody messages you claiming to be me or Alex, that is somebody from Pakistan, Kakistan, Turkestan, Gurkistan. But it's not me, and it's not Alex. I'm down 3,000%. Okay, I believe that actually. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for this time. Peace, love, prosperity. God first. God bless.